So give yourselves a woo. Woo! Oh, y'all are good. But you gotta get the hands going too. So, okay, will you do it again? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Hey, this is really funny. I could hear it, but the music was not matching with what was on the screen.
Yep, good old technology. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year 2023.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like I'm just the only one here. We lost Delinda. Well, hey, everyone. Welcome to Delinda's Faith Talk, connecting women on their faith journey. I'm Dr. Laura Christine, and I don't know if she's going to get back on here, but I'll just keep on talking until we can get her back. Here she comes.
Oh, okay, that was weird. All of a sudden, I was kicked out.
Well, I just kept on talking, so.
And I am so glad. So good girl, keep that thing going here. All right, cool. Now I'm going to adjust my screen a little. Why don't you continue talking for a minute? I'm going to go in.
I will. Happy New Year, Kathy Weaver. And looks like, Linda, your word for the year is commit. That's awesome.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Linda Pierce, good morning. And of course, Kathy, good morning. So great to see you as well. Okay, so Laura, am I like frozen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you. And there's quite a delay, but I know from experience that it'll probably turn out okay on Facebook.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so we'll just see. So, hey, Linda, thanks for sharing your word. Very good. Kathy, succession. Boy, this would be a great show to have multiple people on, or like if we'd done it on invite whoever wants to come on and tell us about their word. So can you, in like a sentence, say why each of you chose that word? So Linda, why did you choose commit? And Kathy, why did you choose succession? If you don't mind sharing that. Hey, Karen, good morning. Nice to see you as well. What is your word? And then she'll look at it. All right. So one of the things is I like to just kind of go over it a little bit. I was actually somewhere, I don't remember where it was. I guess it doesn't matter. And I mentioned the word of the year, and this person said, well, what is that? And I explained it. And so there are people who don't know, if you're not probably if you're active networking and stuff, you would know that because it's pretty common. And I think I did my first one maybe back in about 2010, I think is when I first did my first one. And my first one was release. I was in the middle of life, okay, one of those lifetime issues. And it took me 2 years of the word release to finally get to a place where I thought I could move forward. So some of y'all may know what that's like. One of the big releases was just control. Release control over the things that I thought I had control of, because we all know we really don't have any control except over what we think and how we react to situations that happen. So through the years, there's been a variety of ones. So I love to do, so it's a word instead of making, and you can still make resolutions. Nobody's making these rules for you, but instead of or as part of whatever New Year's resolutions and all these just whole list of things that you're going to do, if you pick one word that's going to be your intention, your focus, what you're going to really focus on for the year, if your word is right for you that you choose, every time you look at that, it helps you get back to where you need to be. And so as you see, there's some awesome ones here. I'm going to go here. And Laura, do you want to read down some of these?
Sure. I don't know who Facebook user is, but good morning. And they said that they have 3 words. They do things in threes. Their 3 words are agape, proud, and disciplined. Those are all very powerful words. And then Kathy Weaver put in a sentence, like you had asked, put it in a sentence. Her Hers is succession, and she does leaders training other leaders for continuation. So that's pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah, that is great. And I see Karen's word is worthy. So Karen, I don't know if you heard me ask, but if y'all are giving us your word and you want to give us a sentence or two about why you picked that word, that would be great. Laura, I'm having a little trouble here. Would you go back up? Did somebody else say something about why they chose their word?
Okay, let's see. Hi, Vicky. Our Facebook user, Vicky, is here. Who knows why you're not showing up? We're having technical difficulties. We also had another Facebook user, and I don't know if this was you, Vicky, but commitment was another word. And then Linda, I know I mentioned you before, but she also said commit. So that's what we've got on our comments for the moment. Karen said I am worthy of all good things.
Amen, girl. And it's reminding ourselves of that. You know, I talked to so many women who just don't.
Oh, we lost her again. Yeah, reminder of worthy of all good things. As believers, you know, God showers us with his love, and you know, we are his kids. So we are righteous and we are worthy. So, which is pretty cool. Don't know when Delinda's going to come back. There you are. So I finished your sentence.
Great. Okay. I don't know. I must have unstable internet. It's pretty funny because that's why Lisa is not here today. So if you can hear me, her husband was having technical issues and had a meeting this morning, and she had to help through all the technical issues so he could do his meeting. So maybe it's a Vegas thing today. Who knows?
And if this was Vicky, I'm thinking Vicky, I wanted discipline, but seemed negative. So I turned it to proud. Like proud, I was able to go to the gym 3 times versus mad if I didn't, but I use them interchangeably. That's cool.
Yeah, that really is. So Laura, what is your word? Fill us in on you.
My word is purposeful. You know, we all have a purpose, and I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm being purposeful in everything I do. Oh, so how about yours, Belinda?
Okay, well, mine is very unusual. I mean, I really, really struggled with it because I had several that I thought of. Focus was a big one. I almost did that one. And discipline, but I figured that this one that I chose, that I'm going to tell you in a second, because I'm not only for me, but also I want to really help women this year in our group in particular, really realize that it's the small things we do that make the biggest difference. So my word, because you can hyphenate it if that's what you need to do to make it a word, one word, but is 10%. If you will increase whatever you do, whatever you want by 10%, you know, that sounds like such a little bitty bit, but I was playing with some numbers. So, you know, figure out, like, maybe look at what your monthly income is. Okay. So maybe you're just getting started and, you know, you made, let's say, and I'm going at lower numbers, depends on where you are and how much you're working your business. I've just picked an easy number. Okay. So let's say that your income last month was $1,000 and you would like to double that, like per month. Do you know that if you only increase by 10%, by the 8th month, you will have doubled that income, and it will continue to be more than double by the end of the year. So if you just increase 10%, if you know that you need to make more phone calls, and you usually make, you know, I'm picking low numbers because I know that a lot of y'all are in the beginning stages of your business. But 10% doesn't sound overwhelming. I'm looking at 10% in all the areas of my life, both in my Bible reading, increasing that in my also in my exercise. Right now I'm doing 0. So I'm going to have to make up a number so that I can add 10% to it. So But I'm going to do it. I haven't figured out the steps that I'm going to start with. I think I have to look it back up, but you know, I think 2,000 steps is maybe a mile, or that might be a half mile. I have to look it up and see. Somebody might know. So I'm going to start there, and I'm going to tell myself 5 days a week, because I know if I do too much, I will overwhelm myself and then I won't do any. You see, I know myself very well. So 10%, if I increase my steps by 10%, and I do it every week. So the first week I walk 2,000 steps. Then the next week, you know, it's like, hey, what, 2,200 steps? That's like a no-brainer. But by summer, by next year, I'll be walking a significant amount. So anyway, my word is 10% to increase in the positive things that I want to do.
That sounds awesome. And you know, one thing that I was thinking about as you were talking about all of this, successful people do one step at a time. And, you know, it's a certain somebody we know, you know, they don't just fall into success. They don't fall to the top of the mountain.
That's right.
You know, it's climbing it step by step. You know, what would it be? And I was trying to think of a good example. Well, let's take the social media piece that is a big part of business nowadays. If you don't show up anywhere, how is anybody ever going to know, you know, that you're out there? And then if you don't post things or lift others up, or, you know, any of those, or hashtag, you know, there's all of these little details to just getting your name out there. And I know you were talking about 10%. That whole piece could be overwhelming, but if you do one step at a time, like you said, with the finances, you know, 8 or 9 months down the road, you can double your monthly income per se.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that to yourself, you say, oh, okay, on your vision poster or whatever, you know, we're going to do vision boards here in a couple of weeks. And you're putting, you know, I want to double my income, but that sounds overwhelming. Or maybe you want to triple your income, whatever your number is. If you do it, because also for me, I don't often track. I know I have a very good friend out there who tracks everything, and she will always know where she is and how she stands. That has not been my forte. I can do it. When I was in Mary Kay, I got really, really good at it, because every month those numbers needed to be in. So I'm going to go back to that, and really, because if I look at 10%, the only way I'm going to know that I hit my 10% is if I'm actually tracking it. So if so whether it's the steps per day, the minutes that I do on my, inspiration in the morning when I'm reading my Bible, that's what I'm doing in my prayer time. If I do that, that's going to make a difference. If I write, and again, 10% doesn't seem overwhelming in, walking around the block. So find those areas. So you remember when we talked about the valuation with Lisa, and how, really know what your priorities are. What are your 5 circles or your 5 squares or on your list? And then do you want to improve those? Then just do it by 10%. What's so cool is chances are you will actually do more than 10%, but you'll feel such victory. Like, whoa, I did 15% this month. And you can really pat yourself on the back. And if you don't make it that much, say, well, you know what? I know I can do it next month. So just let it go and move to the next month.
Well, and Terry Ann said here that 10% is a very encouraging word. And then she said her word for the year is persistent, continuing firmly or obstinately in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition.
You go, girl. That's a great one. Those are great. All of these are such great words. And I know that with you posting them here, they're showing up on the Facebook page too. Kathy posted Kathy put up a post about the words, and we have a long stream going. So you might go back in and also post your words there. And the more you post it, you guys, the more you look at it. If after today you don't look at your word, then you're just going to forget it. And you won't do it. I mean, that's just the way it is, so I know Karen is so gracious. She has said she'll send everybody their word on a postcard, and I'm looking forward to Karen to getting mine real easy one. 10%, you know.
Well, and if you set a habit after 21 days, it's usually, it usually will become, I'm saying set a habit. If you start a routine after 21 days, if you can be successful after 21 days, it usually becomes a habit. So,
and that is true. Yeah, you're very right. That's and something good again for us to remember. So you could write down on slips of paper, or you could put it on do it on the computer. Oh, there, created a graphic. There you go, Terry. And that's what I'm going to say. If you and put them around, like put it on your mirror when you're getting dressed every day, because that's going to help you. Because let's say your word is persistent, like Terry Ann's. So if your word's on your mirror in the morning, how do you think that's going to set up your brain for the day? It's going to help you say, okay, I'm going to be persistent. I need to call back or take this next step again for whatever that is. Because, hey, let's just face it, being an entrepreneur, working for yourself can be frustrating. It can be lonely. Sometimes you just feel like you're going up that hill by yourself. But the truth is you're not, because, hey, here we are, and we're always available. If you send out questions or thoughts in the Facebook page, one of us will get back to you. We'll make a comment. The more you comment, the more we get to comment, and the more it encourages other people to as well.
And then Vicki said here, I keep it on my digital calendar, and every morning I always check my daily calendar and I move it to the next day. So that's a good.
Great idea. Yeah, that is a great idea.
One habit I used to do, and actually I dropped it, and I'm thinking about starting it up again. When you get dressed in the morning, look in the mirror, pick a scripture verse, a real easy one. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Look at yourself in the mirror. That kind of reinstates that what you're saying. It's scripture, it renews your mind, and it gives you a good head start to your day.
Yeah, that is a great one. It really is. And it also helps you if you enjoy memorizing scripture, put a new one up there every week, and just think by the end of the year, you'll memorize 10 new scriptures.
Yes, that's a good idea.
But I love that. Trying to see here. I love the comments that y'all are making. And all right, so let's talk about so in your purposeful, what are some how is that affecting you on a daily basis? How do you move towards that?
Well, it keeps my goals in place. We have a purpose. God gives us a purpose. We've all been given a purpose from before we were born, basically. Mm-hmm. And then as we discover our purpose, as we are going along this journey, I almost said as we get older, but I don't like to say it that way. As we move along this journey, our purpose may change, or we might discover a new purpose. But just, purpose, purposeful. We all have a purpose. And sometimes, like you say, when people are feeling down, or whatever is in your head, whatever's between your ears, if it's popping in your head that you're not worthy, that, some of these that you don't have a succession, let's take everybody's word and turn it into a negative. That's not purposeful, is it? So you can use purpose for a lot of different things.
Yeah. So would you say so, as we're just having conversation here? So when you see your word and you're thinking about your word, and whatever that word is, so as yours is purposeful, mine's the 10%. My thought is asking myself that each day. So when I look in the mirror, or when I'm looking, I would probably put Karen's card that I know she's going to send me right here on the edge of my computer. So I see that, is what I'm doing now moving towards my goal, moving towards that 10%. So I have 4 major things that I'm going to focus on this year. So is what I'm doing right now moving me towards getting me to that 10% of growth in that particular area. So because it's really easy, y'all, at least it is for me, to get sidetracked on stuff because I like so much stuff. So it's like, oh, I like that. I think maybe I'll try that. One of the things I would encourage y'all to do is to my brain just like it flew out. So that's, what is one thing you can do to grow this year? So whatever your, so whether it's learning YouTube, like Kathy now is the expert, but a couple of years ago, she didn't know anything. And isn't that like all of us? We always have something that we're trying to learn or that we want to get better at. So how do we get better? It's not a negative thing to say I need to be better at YouTube or I need to be better at whatever that is. Zoom, learn how to make graphics on Canva or all of these things. There's so many when it comes to technology, right? There's so many things that we can do. And as we do that, and you look at your word, then say, okay, is what I'm doing now or is what I'm doing this morning lined up with, what my goal is for what my focus is, your word of intention there, really to call yourself into.
And Karen here said she just created your word, by the way, on a card. So hopefully you'll get it soon. The postal system around here has been interesting. She also said Lisa's word is regenerate. And Sandy Archer, hi, Sandy. She said her word is encompass, which it covers a lot of ground. And she also said that she's like you, Delinda, with too many things. To answer or to kind of make a comment on, it's that one step at a time, one little piece at a time. Kathy didn't become an expert on YouTube by just sitting there and going, okay, YouTube, tell me what you need to know. I don't need to do anything. None of us, like I said earlier, we don't fall to the top of the hill or the mountain, I should say. It's that one step at a time. And how do we use our words? And like everybody's saying, either have it visible or have it on your calendar. And I also wanted to comment, purposeful for me, it can change as far as not the word itself, but my purpose can change because, God's kind of keeping us on the path. And if we make this decision, we might veer and he might push us back. It's always being flexible too, I think, in any word that we have on being open and flexible to learning. Maybe there's something that you never thought of that ties into your word for the year. Yeah.
And sometimes we don't know where God's leading us to. He has us going when we're thinking like, what does this have to do with my purpose? But he is working all things together. So like just have faith, that it really is.
Right. Exactly. Because he sees the end. We don't. We're just, and it's probably good that we don't see the end.
I agree. Because it's like, it might just scare us too much, right? But I love it, everybody. I love your words. Thank you for sharing those with us too. And, it's not like this is in stone or cement and that you can't, because sometimes you may get into the year and I would say, I think that this is possible. I haven't had it happen to me. But if you're really moving towards your goals for the year and your whatever your word is, and you start feeling like it's brought you to a certain point and it's now time to be flexible and shift and either add another word or change that word that's going to take you to your next step, that's okay. The whole point is making that word work for you because it's all about you and your own journey for sure.
Correct.
And I love what you say, Laura, about the step-by-step. You and I are so in tune on that. That one step at a time is just, it really is. I think where overwhelm comes from for so many is that we have such big goals and we want so much, but we think, like you said, we're not going to fall to the top of the hill, but we think all of a sudden we're going to wake up one morning and it's all going to be there. I mean, wouldn't that be great? I guess, but actually, I think it's the journey. It's the
Right.
journey that we learn. It's the journey where growth happens. And I don't know, that one step at a time. And I guess now this is now politically incorrect to say. But if y'all ever heard the saying, you can eat an elephant one bite at a time. Now, we're not supposed to say that because we're not supposed to endanger animals, which I think is really stupid. I'm just saying. But that's just my own thing. But you get the picture of it. My best example that I've always heard that I really love, it's like brushing your teeth. How long does it take you to brush your teeth? A minute in the morning and a minute at night. And if you do it through your life, when you get older at some point, chances are you're going to have good, healthy teeth or better. If you don't do it at all, boy, I fear for you. So just those little things are so important. So take your one step every day, and tomorrow take another step.
And Sandy had a comment. She agrees. God never gives me a clue. I'll try to run ahead. Oh, I so get that, Sandy. And hello, nice to see you too. Yes, one little step at a time. That's always that's actually what I tell myself, because I have a tendency to take on 10 things at once and then wonder why I get overwhelmed. So.
Yes, well, there are those of us that do that. And the truth is, I think probably just about everybody on here and everybody that watches, because you're only watching this if you're growing and learning and you want to make some change in your life. That's probably why you're watching us in the first place, right? So you're probably very likely could be one of those that
Not our charming personalities. It's not our charming personalities.
Wait, of course it is. I mean, a little bit of both. Well, and I know it's not because you don't have anything else to do in the mornings, because I know that's not true. There's lots of things that you could be doing. And how fun it is that you are sharing this first Tuesday morning of 2023. So I guess, I'm not, again, I just admitted to you, I'm not great at the tracking, but I need to go back and do a double check, because I switched over. I was doing blogs, and then all of a sudden I started doing videos, but they weren't the show. And then somehow the show just happened. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'll just do one of my videos every Tuesday morning. And then last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember, Laura, when you and Lisa, and actually Jennifer was on with us for about a year or so, started having the co-host. So it's been evolving and step by step. I didn't just jump in and say, oh, I'm going to have a morning show with a couple of co-hosts. And, it just started. I didn't even know it was starting. It just started. God does that sometimes. But I think I think we're into our 6th year now. I think we're starting our 6th year. Like, whoa, that's exciting.
That's awesome.
Here's another little clue for you. So a couple of things, because we are at the top of the hour. Put on your boards, everybody. The first weekend in August 4th, 5th, and 6th, we are in Las Vegas. We just realized that the frigid weather, the travel, and just heard back from so many of y'all that just said, Delinda, this is just not a good time for us to travel. We really want to come. Is there any way to do something about that? And it's amazing how God works. I called the hotel, the resort, and they said, oh yeah, we can move the weekend. No big deal. They didn't charge me for any. Oh yeah, we can switch it. So we have switched the dates to make it more convenient and easier for all of you to travel to Las Vegas. So August 4th, 5th, and 6th. Make a note. I should have done a background. I'll have one for you next week. We want you to be there, and it opens up. So here's the other thing. I know that there's some of y'all that cannot travel for various reasons. So we are looking into, I hope to know by the end of this month, the details. But we're looking into having it streamed. So there will be a ticket available for those of you who cannot travel or don't want to travel or whatever, so that we can actually, you can be part of it. You can watch it and listen to the amazing speakers. But we actually have some also new surprises that are coming. Since we have these extra months, we're going to have a couple little celebrity type people. So we're going to have some fun, exciting things. So all right, make that note on your calendar so that you won't miss it. Again, if you don't get it on there, it will not happen. Be intentional and do that. And Dr. Laura is going to be one of our speakers. She's going to be sharing our Sunday morning message. So I'm excited about
Yes,
that.
I'm excited. I've never, I have to admit, I've never been to Vegas, so it'll be fun.
It will be fun. There in Kansas City, many of my friends there, because y'all know I lived there for many years. So when are you coming back? Well, I probably am going to come back when our house sells for my, because be with the kids and the grandkids. But the whole thing is like, why do you stay out there? Because it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, I like desert, okay, but I like the weather. The weather is really nice. And I like the fact that if I want to go get a cup of coffee and a piece of pie at 11 or 12 at night, I actually can. Sometimes I have, not often, but so Vegas is a nonstop town. And when y'all come out here, it is fun, and you're going to you'll have some time. And I encourage you to stay an extra day or come in a day early and just see. There's more than gambling. There's more than gambling. There's some fabulous things to see. If you're a hiker, just within about 5 miles from the hotel is Red Rock Canyon, which is a great hiking place. If y'all are into that, that's not my gig, but people do like that. So. Oh, Sandy, you may get to come. Oh, I love that. That is great. That is great.
Awesome.
So I hope that does open more opportunity. The website is still the same. And, I didn't make a banner for that. I need to. So let's see here if somebody, maybe Kathy, can you just actually do the link and put the link to it is very easy. Wow, the world 2023.com. Pretty easy. WowTheWorld2023.com. All right. So Laura, any last minute thoughts here?
No, I just, it's always interesting to see everybody's word. It's fun to see what everybody's word is. And, we're all in it together. And like you said earlier, reach out if you get stuck to any one of us. That's what it's all about. That's what networking is all about. That's what being part of this community is all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am going to, I don't know when yet you can watch for it, but I decided last night when I, finally decided what my word was going to be, that I'm going to do a workshop on that, because there may be some of y'all who've never done that, tried the 10% approach. And I'll do a workshop on that. And then we'll just press the numbers and the things together, and you can ask whatever questions you want. So be watching for that if you're interested in that kind of a thing. So, all right. Oh, I know. I had one more thing I was going to tell y'all before I got sidetracked on the Wow the World, because it is about Wow the World. So Lisa was posting something and led to the question of, well, when was the first, I think she asked me, which one did she go to? And she, not knowing did she go, she was an amazing help for that whole, in 2017 was our last one. It turns out it was the exact same weekend, the first weekend of August. That might become our new date. Well, I've already got reserved, Wow the World, the website, 2024 and 2025. So we're continuing. I used to do them on a really regular, almost annual basis. But the first one, I just told her. I just told her what it was last night. This is 23. This is really terrible. I think the first one was in 2013. 2013, it was in Asheville, North Carolina. That's right, it was. It was in October. The second one was actually in Kansas City at the Marriott Hotel there at 435 in Metcalf. And then I don't remember from where, I could look that up. But we'll be celebrating 10 years. Wow the World started 10 years ago. And it's cool. Exciting that we're still going and we're back. The pandemic set us back 3 or 4 years, 3 for sure. And just looking to see what God has in store, because, he wants us, the scripture tells us, to shine like stars in the universe. You do have a purpose, just like Laura was saying. You have a purpose. He's called you to shine in your area. Wherever you are, bloom where you're planted. You've heard that. And pick your word and stay focused this year. It's going to be an amazing, amazing year, our best year yet. All right. All right, my friends, I am going to continue with the fact that you've got a choice. So thank you for being here. Go out, make it a great week, because it is your choice. Take care, my friends. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.